Wow, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kathy Logsdon. I'm the Sales and Marketing Director here at Epworth Villa. I want to welcome you all. Thank you all for coming. I want to remind you all at the bottom of your screen, there is a Q&A button or there's a chat button. You can hit either one of those and put a question in there, and we will do questions and answers with Amber at the end. Hopefully we'll answer a lot of your questions. Well, I want to introduce you to our special guest today. Amber Bergensen is the owner of Senior Transitions, a move management company that's been in business, I think, 13 years. Is that right, Amber?
Almost 12. Almost 12.
Almost 12 years.
Yeah.
And one of our partners here that really assists in the move, pack, downsize process for seniors primarily. They specialize in whether it's home to a community or within a community. So welcome, Amber. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And I hope that I can give you guys just one piece of something that you can take away today.
I think you're probably going to give them more pieces than one, but let's just get right into it. Okay. We are going to cover a lot of territory today and let Amber give you the nuts and bolts of how they do it, what they do. So the first thing I will ask you is, our clients tend to be a bit overwhelmed with the process of taking what they want, leaving what they don't, and making those decisions. What do you say to someone that's completely overwhelmed with the situation?
First, I like to say, don't be. I know that's easier said than done, but that's why we exist. We were created to take that piece of the puzzle off your plate. And so when people say, just can't do it, we're here to pull you up over the fence and say you can.
Very good. So trust that what you do well, and you're there to support them and help them.
Absolutely.
So Amber, how do you know when well, first of all, let's talk about how you start the process. What's the step one of when someone calls you and says, I'm thinking of moving to a community like Epworth Villa? What do I do first? What do you say?
Sure, absolutely. What we do, and I have a wonderful business manager named Patty Hamlin that you will actually speak with. And what we do is we set up that first meeting, that complimentary consultation. And there are nothing to say that you have to do anything with us, but if we could just come out and take a look and see everything, I think that's where the peace comes from, because it is just so hard to understand that it can happen. And when we get out there, I think you start to feel like, oh, I can do this. And we have homework, but our process really starts if you do decide to make a move with our green dot system. So we use these, and green means go. It's a very simple way to keep your brain focused on what you want to take with you. That's really important. And even if you're not quite ready, you could even start this process to really start to think about those pieces that mean something to you, to then fit into your new home. And then we make a plan from there. So, and we'll get more into that as we go.
Okay. So next question, how do you know that what they're putting green dots on or what you're putting green dots on will fit in their new space? Let's just give you the scenario that they're moving to Epworth in an apartment or cottage. How do you know it'll fit, Amber?
Because you guys have blessed us with almost 12 years of getting to work with you. And so we just know, we know the space, we know each apartment, we know what will fit, what doesn't. And because we've helped so many people, we can use ideas from other people. And let me tell you, no two people are the same, still haven't been all these years. And that's what's great, is we all have our things and we have what's important to us. So while we're there in that consultation, we can go, you can maybe show us this beautiful, maybe entry piece that you have loved. It's got some great storage and you really want to take it. Well, maybe we help you decide how to repurpose that piece. If it's that important for you to take and you're thinking there's no way it'll fit, and we'll say, well, what do you think about this? And maybe we could use that as your TV stand this time instead of maybe just an entry piece. So we really try to find those pieces that you can repurpose. But the most important thing is that you're taking what's important to you. We're never going to tell you no. We're going to just really suggest here's what works and here's what doesn't, because we're familiar with the floor plans. And if we have a question, we'll go measure and make sense, and we can actually make you a floor plan. And, you know, we have a system of a little magnetic floor planning system that we use, and we can do that for you as well.
Do you happen to have that with you sitting there?
No, Patty has it. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I didn't think to bring that with me, but
That's
it's
okay.
this
I didn't ask
wonderful
you
little
to.
system.
It's
I
a
believe
big board that has the floor plan and little puzzle pieces of furniture, doesn't it, Amber?
Yep. And it's magnetic, so we can move it around. So let's say we put a chair in a corner and you're like, well, that's not kind of what I was thinking. Then we kind of move it and play with it to your liking. You know, so that's what's so wonderful about it, is it just gives you a visual when you can't see it sometimes.
That's why we do staged model apartments.
Exactly.
Because
that really
you
does
go
help.
into an empty apartment and you can't comprehend where your things will go. And you guys really make that simple. So let me ask you this: in the process of the green dot system, do you categorize with people? Like, do you things absolutely that you have to take? Then the next level, how do you break that down? Because we tend to want to take everything, but that's not realistic, is it?
Exactly. And just so you guys know, no matter what stage of life we're in, we all have these things that are important to us that we can't get rid of. I tell people a lot that I move often because I'm blessed that my husband works in new home construction. We get a new home a lot. It does force me to have to make some decisions that I maybe wouldn't normally make. So it gives me that empathy that I know how hard it is. And so right now for me, it's getting rid of my kids' toys. How do I know what to keep, what not to keep? So I just want you to know that we understand just as much. But what we do is once we've kind of decided what you want to take, you can sometimes get the other colored dots. And of course we could bring those for you too, you know, when they have like 4 colors, and you could mark them that way. You could maybe red is for storage. Or yellow is for a daughter, son, niece, nephew, church, and different things. And again, that compartmentalizes it so that you can then say, okay, I can now visualize the green goes with me, and then the other colors, here's what's happening with them. You can use sticky notes and things like that as well. As long as we have identified what's coming with us, then we can help you make a plan based on your situation, because everybody is different. And so we want to really kind of, that's again, that complimentary consultation really allows us to help you make those decisions once we see what you have, you know, from there too. Does that kind of help? And then we'll dig deeper too.
Yes. Let me ask you something, because I see this a lot when we're working with clients. Before they reach out to you and call you and make that initial appointment, they feel like they have to do a whole lot of organizing and work and packing, a whole lot of stuff before you even come in. Talk to me about what they shouldn't do, what they should do, and the process of everything you do from start to finish, all the pieces of the puzzle.
Okay. Thank you, and bear with me. It's such a great question, because what people tend to do is try to start. Now, again, if you're not quite ready, you're a year out, it's okay to start thinking about what you're ready to give away to family, maybe donate, things like that. But what we don't want you to do is you open every single drawer and go, I have to touch this today. If you open a drawer, it's my favorite example. If you open a drawer and you look in it and you don't want it, shut it. It doesn't matter right now. Again, there's going to be circumstances that maybe the house sells quicker than we anticipated or things like that. But really, for the most part, you know, we just want to make sure that you're only focused on what you want to take. So once you've done that, then it's our job to come in and help you pack it and sort it. And again, we give you homework a little bit, or we can even have a sorting day if that's helpful to you. It just depends on everybody's situation. But what we don't want you to do, and it's so sweet, and I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but we don't really want you to start packing what you want to take, because what that does is it makes it a lot harder on us. And then it actually causes more time and more money, because now we're asking you maybe 10, 15 more questions than we might have had we packed it, because what we do is we take pictures. So it allows us to know exactly. So you have a curio cabinet and it's coming and it's one of your favorite things and it has all your favorite pieces in it. We take a picture and we take it and we put it right back how it came. So that allows us then to make it feel more like home. And it takes down the workload on you. So really, we don't want you working ahead. Let us come do that consultation and we can make a game plan. So I don't want you to do a bunch of unnecessary work when it's not needed.
Yeah, that's great advice. So, Green Dot, you guys have done the consultation. What's the next step after that, Amber? What happens?
Then we make a plan for the move. So you've now chosen to move into your apartment at Epworth, and we look at dates together, Monday through Friday. Let's say so what we do is we plan on packing one day. We bring all the supplies. We bring boxes, tissue, tape, everything. And because we've been to the consultation, we know what to bring. And then we pack you that one day. You still stay in your home that night, kind of like a staycation. That's what we say. So you pack a little bag like you're going somewhere, but you're staying at home. Usually your bed is your safe zone. If you want things that you don't want us to touch, they go on your bed because you're still going to sleep there that night. Then we hire movers who do all the heavy lifting the following day. We have one person there to meet the movers. They're doing all that last minute stuff like packing the fridge, packing the bedding, your lamps, your clock, all those things you needed to sleep. Coffee pot, right? We all need our coffee probably in the morning. So those things that you need for the next morning, then we take you over there. The rest of the team meets at Epworth. We unpack and we settle in. We clear all the supplies. Your pictures are hung, your bed's made. Your curio is set up. It looks like you've never not lived there. Again, there are cases where sometimes we have to come back a third day to hang pictures or something, but we're always going to make sure your bed's made. You can get a drink of water and go to the bathroom. Those are the most important things. We want to make sure your essentials are taken care of. And then if we have to do some other things the next day,
So you consult, plan, green dots, preliminary, calling the movers and making a date. You call the movers, you arrange to bring all the packing materials you need, and you show up on packing day.
Perfect. Exactly.
Then the movers step in, which you hire, because you work with movers all the time, the
same set of movers all the time. Right.
Yeah, you have a rhythm.
Right.
So the movers come, you have someone here at the apartment waiting, you have several people at the house usually.
Usually whoever packs you is going to unpack you. So please, so you'll know, because again, it's going to be more smooth. It's going to be, we know what came. Sometimes we have to change a person out every once in a while, but for the most part, it's always going to be the same team.
And then the actual loading of the truck happens. Mm-hmm. You move here. You guys are just taking over. You're unpacking everything because you already know where it goes.
That's right.
You know, label it. You know where the pictures go. You know where everything is. People could maybe go to lunch and then come in after the fact. What should they do while you're doing this? Because it's hard for people not to do things.
It is. It's hard not to be there. And we understand that. We respect that. And we're going to respect you if you want to be. But what we love to tell people is go have lunch with a family member. Honor appointments if you have need to go to the dentist or any of those type of things, that you can completely trust us to get it done. Because what happens is it feels a little bit chaotic when we first get there, because you got to remember the guys load the truck, so our boxes come off first. So we can start to unload and be efficient. And then by the end of the day, then see, now when you come into the room, it looks like you've always lived there and it feels like home. That's our goal. And it just takes a lot of stress off of you if you can kind of wait. But sometimes I know that's hard. So we are chameleons. That's what we call ourselves. We just go with the flow. We change to whatever situation we're in, and there is no right or wrong. That just seems to work best.
Okay, so people come back. You guys are wrapping up. Things are in their place. What do you do with the packing materials, Amber? Do you take care of that?
We take care of them. They are theirs because we do charge, but we recycle gently. So when we can reuse the boxes. And so if you want them, they're yours, but usually people don't. The last thing they want to do is have to worry about getting them back out of the room and downstairs. So we take care of those for you and get them off your hands.
Okay, let's go a step further. You're packed, unpacked, you're moved in, you're settled in. What is happening to the things that are still at the house? How do you coach people, help people through what happens there? Because normally people are selling their home. They need it cleaned out, cleared out, cleaned before they close on it, if that's their scenario. what do you do to help people with that part of it?
Okay, absolutely. And here's something too we talk about a lot. If you can move and get comfortable, especially in this housing market right now, if you can move and get comfortable first and then sell the home, that's ideal. Only because, again, it just takes the stress off of having to get it empty, having to get it ready. You now know you've gotten everything out you want. You've got stuff to the family that wants it, things like that. But what we do is, again, we're experts on what we're experts in. We do senior move management, and then we find those experts. If you need a realtor, an estate sale, do we need to take it to donation, which we can do. We can pack and have our movers take it to donation. Maybe you have a couple pieces going to, let's say, a daughter's house, and you need that taken. We can take that. Things like that. But really, again, I know it keep going back to that complimentary consultation really helps us grasp how much you're going to have left. But what we want you to understand is estate sales, really, if you have enough, that's the way to go. Because what they do is they take everything, and because they can sell anything. So that's another thing. I don't want you throwing things away because you think it's not worth anything, because they will sell half bottles of cleaners. It's amazing. So they usually charge 35 to 40%, but they're setting everything up, because once you walk out that door and everything that's left, they take care of everything. And then once whatever doesn't sell, they usually have a place they donate it to, unless you have some place you would prefer. You guys can talk about that in your time together. And then they clear the house, and they'll do a light clean. They do not do a deep clean. So sometimes people then will get a house cleaner to do those things. So between myself, the estate sale, and the realtor, we all have resources for that type of stuff. And so really, we don't want you worrying about anything that's left. So we will figure out, excuse me, based on your situation, what we need to do. Did that answer it good enough?
That's great information. So let's talk about cost. You mentioned don't do certain things because it'll increase the cost. What typically can someone expect to pay if they live, say, in Edmond, Northwest Oklahoma City, and they are engaging your services to move to a community, let's say our community? What is an average? I know it depends on the size of their house and how much stuff, but just give me a ballpark range of what people can expect, and then I'll give them some information about what we do.
Okay, great. It is harder to decide until we see it. And it is always an estimate, because things can change the day of the move. But on an average, I would say we can do an entire setup from anywhere from $2,000 to $2,500 anymore. And that's with everything complete. That's with supplies. That's the movers. So when we give an estimate, it includes our services, the supplies, and our movers cost. We do both collect separately. So we do tell you that in the consultation. So the movers collect their part, and then we collect our part. So we're two companies that work closely together. So on an average, about $2,000 to $2,500. Could be less, could be a little more.
Okay. Let's talk about, just briefly, I'll tell you what we do a lot of times, and anyone on this call that has RSVP to this webinar is with us. If you are moving to Epworth or you're thinking about it, we generally, a lot of times, we offer up to $2,500 for a wrap, pack, and move, which is what Amber does. And we will do that for you if you move forward in the process, let's say before the end of the year. And how that works is, you pay Amber, she brings you the bill at the end of the move. When they are all done and things are put away and everything's cut and dried, she'll bring you a bill for the whole thing. You write a check, you bring it to our department, and we send it upstairs. And the first thing they do is give you a credit for your first month of monthly service fee for that amount up to $2,500. If it only costs $1,500, you're going to get credit for $1,500. So, but that's how we do it here at Epworth Villa. I don't know how other communities do it, but I'm sure very similar. We have some questions, so I am going to take those real quick. One of our participants said, "What's the cost?" I think we covered that. Another question is, what about out of town? We are able to do out of town moves sometimes within the state of Oklahoma. Amber also, I believe, still owns the franchise in Tulsa. So Tulsa to Oklahoma City is easy, or in that area. We've done others. I think we've done Lawton, haven't we, Amber?
We've done Lawton, we've done Ada, we've done Frederick, we've done lots of different places. So we do go pretty much anywhere in the state of Oklahoma. Stillwater, a lot of people coming from Stillwater.
Yeah.
And then we're also, is this okay to talk about the national part too, Kathy, right here to kind of tie it all together?
Oh, yes. I was just going to go down that road. The national
part of a
franchise network of senior transitions that exists. Talk about that, because I do have a question from someone. What if I'm moving from out of town? Like, let's say you're moving from Texas.
This is
let's
perfect.
say you're moving from North Dallas or Fort Worth or somewhere in that area. What happens? What do we do?
Perfect. No, great question, because what's so neat is we're part of a national organization of senior move managers. So we are local. Senior Transitions LLC is just in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. But what's really cool is that we are sister companies with about 800 to 900 other people who do exactly what we do. Now, some people do it a little different. We encountered somebody in Texas that she just oversees the move. She doesn't do the packing. So that was unusual. We hadn't experienced that before. She was super sweet. But we ended up just hiring some packers, and they're actually coming into Tulsa today. So what we can do is, once we find out a zip code where that family is coming from, then we get on our national organization's website and we locate somebody, and we either contact them for you or we'll share that with you. And maybe there's more than one, because in Texas, there's a lot of senior move managers, especially in the Houston, San Antonio areas, those larger populations. And so we'll find somebody that's a good fit, maybe give you 2 to choose from, because that way you can talk to them and see. So, and then we coordinate with them. We do lots of emailing. I mean, Patty's in constant connection with whoever we're working with on the other end to make sure that everything goes smoothly here, and vice versa if we're taking it out of state. Same
That's
thing.
great.
So
there's a way.
There's a way.
Yeah. Another question we have here: when I have unwanted items, I think we addressed this, but we're going to address it again. And
Sure.
What I'm leaving is marked to go to charity. Will you take it there for us and leave it with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And the movers do add a little time to take it and drop it off. And if you want us to pack it, it takes a little time, but we would be so happy to do that. We've been doing that a lot lately. But we will donate the boxes for that. And so that we're not using brand new boxes, and that we're not charging you for those, because sometimes that stuff. So if we know ahead of time that you're going to want us to do some of that, we will be prepared and bring the right supplies for that.
Great. I have a comment here. It's not a question.
Okay.
It says, we used Amber services when we moved our mom from her home of 60 years. She and her team helped make a difficult and stressful situation so much easier. It's signed Amy. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much, Amy.
I hear that a lot from everyone that engages your services here. It's just a blessing to our team to have you and your support of your team. So I do have someone, and anyone on this call that wants Amber's information. Tell us what your website is and the phone number, and how to get a hold of Patty Hamlin, your office manager that will direct traffic and set up a consultation. Tell us your website, Amber.
Sure. It's www.seniortransitionsok.com. And then our phone number is 405-315-3844. And I have a Tulsa number too, but Patty could give you that. So I'm not trying to overwhelm you with phone numbers right now. And then you just call. And again, if you only call Patty and just have questions, do not ever hesitate. Just call. No question is silly. We can answer it. If we don't know the answer, we'll find out. One thing I do want to kind of put out there, and I hope this is okay too, Kathy, we are busy. Epworth is keeping us very busy, which I'm so thankful. So sometimes Patty is in the field, and so she doesn't answer right away. Please just give her a little bit of grace. She will call back within 24 hours to get your questions answered. It is a cell phone. She can text. So sometimes maybe that's an easier way to kind of reach out to, if you're comfortable with that. Right. Don't ever hesitate, but just so you know, she will get back to you, and we'll get you all taken care of.
So along with that, the website again is seniortransitionsok.com.
Yes.
And you want to give the phone number one more time?
Sure. It's 405-315-3844.
And anyone that would like to email go to the website epworthvilla.org and click on contact. If you'll send us a request, we'll send you Amber's information. She has a beautiful color flyer that we give out in information packets when we meet with folks. We always have that in the packets so that we can invite you to reach out to her, because that's where the process starts. And I would also say that we plan, because we're recording this webinar and editing it a little bit, we will have this available for you on the website very soon. So look for it there, and we can send an email blast to all of you that are on today that the video is on the website so that you can watch it again, make some notes that maybe you missed. But if we have any more, let me see if we have any more questions.
Kathy, can I make one correction too?
Yes,
I always question myself because I don't type it very much. The website is okc.com. I knew I was saying it wrong. So it's seniortransitionsokc.com, not okay.
Seniortransitionsokc.com.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
Probably if you put that in the search mode, you would probably come up anyway, but yeah. It's all good.
Sorry about that. I should have it.
And don't we have a video of you that our outreach and business development expert Beth Case did? There's a YouTube video out there where you are walking through an apartment and kind of talking through the process.
Absolutely. It's a great system. Yeah.
You go on YouTube and type in epworthvilla.org or Epworth Villa, and our YouTube page will probably come up. There's tons of terrific videos on there, but there's one of Amber walking through, I think it's a Glenbrook 1-bedroom apartment, talking to people specifically about how to move from a 3-bedroom 2-bath house to a 1-bedroom apartment at Epworth. That's a great video to watch if that's something you're interested in. Well, Amber, I think we're going to wrap this up. We will have a link to the recording that we will send out to folks when it's on the website. We will just link it and send you an email blast about that. Thank you everyone for joining us. Contact us if you want more information about Amber's services, Epworth Villa, what's available, special incentives we might have for you. It's just, it's a terrific place to live, isn't it, Amber?
Yeah, and I'm just going to tell you, we have some of our best friends there. We can't walk through the community without loving on everybody. So my team has been with me anywhere from 5 to 11 years, and they have relationships built there that are strong. So you guys become part of our family.
It's the people at Epworth that are the best part about it.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you all. I appreciate you joining us today. We will have this available for you soon. And great job, Amber.
Thank you.
We love your team. We love your company. You make our lives a lot easier, and certainly the people that use you. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.